Good morning folks, welcome to today's video. I thought today I'll put together a little day in the life / working in the life video on what it's like for me to be living in Dubai. A bit of a YouTube proof version today because I'm not gonna lie, on most days it gets kind of boring. I'm just stuck here behind the desk working on my laptop, but some days are a bit more content oriented. And luckily today is one of those days, so we get to go outside and record stuff. One thing that does not change, however, is how we start the day. You see a Dolce Gusto coffee machine in the back. That's how I start the day always. Then have some breakfast. Go over the game plan that I made the day before or the evening the day before. See if I have to adjust anything, reply to some emails, reply to some clients, and then we head off to the gym. However, today we're not having coffee because I bleached my teeth yesterday. Today we have to sip on White Ultra Monster Energy. Not my favorite, but it gets the job done. And eat, or I'm actually already eating, some plain rice, broccoli with vegetables without any sauce. So the most boring version you can imagine, but we have to if I want to keep my teeth white today. This balcony has to be cleaned every few weeks because it just gets covered in desert sand. It's not that bad when you live in downtown area, Business Bay or the Marina area. But out here in JBC area, where I'm currently living, it gets pretty messy out here. Over there you see all the buses. That's where all the labor people arrive and leave. They work on these constructions over there. This literally wasn't there 3 months ago. This is what they just rammed out of the ground in 3 months time. Will be finished in another 2 months. Imagine, in 2 months this entire building will be complete, and that's how it goes over here, man. That's how they build all these skyscrapers on basically slavery conditions. Alright, so let's show you the downstairs area real quick. Bit different from the Burj Khalifa fountain view I had last time I was here in Dubai, but that was during the pandemic, and the cost of that place now per night is literally what that place cost for about a month. This is the little indoor apartment complex training facility. Pretty decent equipment. It's all Nautilus branded. American, it's pretty good. It's much better than Matrix and Techno Gym and these sort of things. In my opinion, you can basically train almost everything here. So if you're short on volume, you can kind of finish your workout over here. Basically every place, every like hotel, compound, anything in Dubai does have a pretty decent gym setup, much better than this or much better equipped. Most of the times in more of the newer buildings. The outside area suited for your daily dose of sunlight exposure and vitamin D. On rest days, I usually do all the work I can do from my phone here. So literally stand with my knees into the water, do the work I can in the sun while getting that vitamin D in. The Icon Casa 3 logo on the floor. Everything in Dubai is called Icon, Diamond, Royale, all these kind of shiny names. A little bit cringe, to be honest. You hardly see any people here, only two over there in the back, and there's a very good reason for that, and that is because this pool is absolutely freezing. I don't know why. They should just like not even heat it up, not cool it down. This temperature, this climate around this time of the year is absolutely perfect, but for whatever reason, since basically the summer, they just ice it down. It's almost like an ice bath, and since that is no bueno for anabolic gains, we don't delve into those things, because what it basically does, it reduces your muscle building potential by 50% because of the inflammation process that is being decreased for about 50%, and you need that in order to build muscle. Time to head to the gym. That meal's been digesting for a little bit now, and the more advanced you become, the more important nutrition timing becomes as well. Because the biggest thing that will decrease your performance capabilities is feeling hungry. So we need to prevent that, and with all the content we have to film on top of our workout, we need to get that timing right. Each day when I leave the elevator, this security guard right here, absolute legend by the way, he already knows what's up, and he bolts a fist towards me and he encourages me to have a great gym session. Hello boss. Hello. How are you today? Good. All right. So we're on our way to the gym now. A bit of a different gym than usual, you'll see in a minute. But it's very good for making content. Dubai at this time of year is absolutely amazing. The weather is perfect. Like the next 5-6 months here are just gonna be the best. Initially when I got here I wanted to get a car, but traffic has gotten so bad. It's so much worse than it was when I arrived here at first. Like now it's just horrendous. You're just stuck in traffic jams all the time, so it's just better to get around by a taxi, because then at least you can still get something done. Alright, we've arrived at our first destination for today. We're at 5 Palm. It's actually a hotel, but you can also enter as an outsider. It has a beautiful apparent outside gym area, beach clubs, pools, all this sort of stuff. But today we're coming for the gym to train and make some content. We're gonna do it efficient today because we're here for the long form footage, but as well short form in the form of informational reels and B-roll for text on screen kind of stuff. And I think it can be very beneficial when content is very visually pleasing and aesthetic, and oh boy does this place take that one off. Cool. Yes. I've never been here before. I saw this place online and I must say, it does not disappoint. You probably will not have your best workout over here. It's more of an aesthetic social media type of place, but for time efficiency reasons, we get the training out of the way over here today. Sometimes we just gotta take one for the team, just like in the old school LA Muscle Beach days, training and catching a tan at the same time. Who said guys can't multitask? When it comes to my training, I actually prefer to do it without filming anything. Because when I start filming when I'm training, it becomes a massive distraction. And the session is far from as good as it should be. So usually what I'll do is I'll get the session out of the way first, and then any content that needs to be created is done after the session. Where one, I've had an effective session, I got a naughty little pump going on, I'm like hyped up, I've got all the energy, dopamine, endorphins running wild through my brain, and content as well is pretty high energy stuff, so that all complements each other quite nicely. And obviously the content that is being created right now is all around fitness, whether it's short form for Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, or the long form stuff such as this. I am creating content that is specifically just for that. And I'm very much aware that I should be pumping out long form YouTube videos more consistently, but it's pretty time consuming. If you want to have a presence online, then you need to be creating content online. So it's still something I have to do, but I try to make it as efficient as possible. That's why we are getting the actual training session in over here today, instead of a fully reel equipped indoor gym. What a lot of people do is they spend their entire day filming 1 or 2 Instagram Reels, which might not even pop off at all, so make it more efficient. And even though I know I don't nearly have as much YouTube videos as I have Instagram posts, I'm more of a fan of the long form content, but short form is more of the game these days. Now we got what we came for. It's time to replenish, have some food, because we've been out here for a few hours now. Now we're going to head to a new location and make some more content. Just like in the old school Instagram days when it was all only about pictures, I would just grab a bag with a bunch of different clothing and I would just shoot a bunch of photos, making it look like it was all a different day. But I would just prepare a month worth of Instagram posts in one day basically. And we do the exact same thing these days, but then just in video format. Luckily today we have a beautiful lady behind the camera helping us out. And I'd say she's doing a pretty good job too. Did I teach her well? Let us know in the comments. She doesn't always enjoy it. Even behind the camera, it's pretty high energy stuff. And she tells me sometimes I get a bit too serious or demanding. It is such a luxury to have someone help you out. The filming can sometimes really be a pain in the ass, especially if you have to set up tripods up all the time by yourself. And by the way, just take a moment and realize how breathtaking this place is. I like Dubai, but it's a little bit mixed. I might leave soon and go to Bali, because honestly, all I really need is good weather, the beach, good food and good gyms. Then I'm already living my best life. The thing with me is I've always had a very optimistic abundance mindset, so I'm not afraid to spend money because I think that the money is always going to come back in. Even when things get a little tight, I'm like, hey, well, we just have to make some more money. So there's never really been an issue over there. But every wealth advisor or manager would say that the biggest mistake people make when they are in a good position is that they always spend what comes in, which objectively makes the situation a bit risky. There's no guarantee that your business is going to be doing well in 5 years from now. So it's better to not upskill your lifestyle and save and invest so you are not reliant on new money coming in each month. The biggest mistake I always made is like, I make more money and then I just spend more money. Almost to the extent of where it's like I need to spend more money to even make more money at times. And it's just this endless cycle of me earning more, spending more, and it gets a little bit silly. So as good as Dubai is for networking and all these sort of things, the best thing to often do to change your behavior is to change your environment. Going to Bali would be a good move not to spend more money. As nice as Dubai can be, you quickly end up spending unnecessary much on even the smallest things. I would say that generally a large part of my work is dedicated to generating content in some way or form. I would like it to be even more than what it already is. Consistency tends to drop a bit as my main source of income comes from one-on-one coaching right now. That can take up a lot of time too. Because of that, I like to tackle the content as efficiently as possible. Have days where I'm more stuck behind my laptop and have days where I record large chunks of content so I have a bit of a batch to go with until it runs out, and then I'll shoot a lot again. That works well, but since I really like to make content, it forces me to go outside more. I wouldn't mind it if it would be more of a daily thing in the future. And particularly in this day and age, there are more and more ways to make a living of content. But there are a lot of content creators out there and the number keeps growing, so you've got to find a way to stand out. So I need to try to put together content that is either unique, valuable, entertaining, or of just a very high quality. But most importantly, I believe in this day and age, it's important to be very authentic, which is a bit harder than what you might think. I could definitely be more authentic than I currently am, but as long as I'm getting 1% better every day, that's good. It's important to have a growth mindset. You can't expect yourself to be the best immediately. You've got to earn those stripes. Like with everything, by just becoming that little bit better every day. Then on a typical working day around 12 or sometimes 2 p.m, also dependent on where I am at and what that time zone is like compared to Europe, until almost midnight, I will sit behind my computer and just work. Typically I would spend at least 1 to 2, sometimes even 4 or 5 hours having Zoom calls, having conversations with at least somebody each day. Those people may vary, but it has something to do with my coaching, clients or a business coach, ads that are being run on Facebook or Instagram, or another skill that I'm trying to learn. Then after the gym session is done, the content is shot, the calls have been done, and sometimes the most annoying part comes, and that is putting all the content together. And especially when we are creating YouTube videos next to the shorts, sometimes you're just editing all day, which is not fun, but it's something that has to be done. Or if I just want to edit like 10 to 20 reels that I've shot in a day, it's very time consuming. Maybe more so than necessary, because I like to have it a certain way, and I will not stop until that idea or vision became a reality. I do really enjoy the entire content creation process and the editing as well. It truly comes from a place of wanting to be an example for people and inspire. And that's what started this entire journey that led to where I am today in the first place. And that motivation is still what often is central in most of the things I do when it comes to fitness and social media and my coaching business. You would think looking at social media that my life is not that hard, and for me, working a normal 9 to 5 would be much harder because I absolutely hate it. But behind the scenes, there is a lot of stuff that needs to be done, with sometimes days of 12 hours long. If you often work that much, listen to your body, take a break when you have to, and that's something I can luckily decide to do, and maybe even one of those things that I'm currently most proud of or most content with. Of course, there's stuff that needs to be done but simply the fact that I can pick and choose when I want to work. This has always been the dream ever since I was in my early 20s and teens, from a location that I get to choose as well. But pretty much every day I'm doing something, and that could be either all day or all night or just part-time, but it's about that freedom of being able to just pick and choose based on when you want to work, when you want to work a lot or when you want to ease off. I feel like people in general are just not really made to work a standard 9 to 5. I feel it's more natural to kind of sprint and ease off a little bit. Just like motivation in general, it just comes and goes with waves. It's not always consistent. And as well, like if you have these periods of sprinting, you're able to see certain things that others don't. You're able to see certain patterns, and a little bit of that upper edge that you have over the competition is really going to make a difference, because everything is really a competition. Whether it's who gets that bread, that last bread in the supermarket, who gets that girl, or who gets that client, who gets that market position in that certain business, it's all a competition. And if you sprint for a certain amount of time, you can really create that edge and see things that you otherwise can't see, but you can't really keep that on forever. So then there's times to kind of ease off a little bit, reflect, replenish the energy sources, and then go at it again. But of course, you always got to keep a certain level of consistency. Without consistency, you can't build anything. It's those small, tiny incremental steps every single day that add up over time, that lead to big results in the long run. People in general always overestimate what they can do in the short term, and they underestimate what they can do in the long term. Just like with fitness in general, everyone who always try to cheat their way through or get to a certain results faster or do something that is basically not sustainable, they always catch the short stick in the long run. Whereas if you just focus on getting 1% better every single day, that's gonna be 365% a year. That's gonna be a major freaking process. And I would sign for that every single day if I could. So you need to have that little basis of consistency, but based on whatever I'm feeling, what my needs are, based on motivation and what I kind of want, I will just go at it extra hard, extra long days, 10, 12 hours, whatever, and then kind of ease off and chill a little bit more and maybe go a bit harder on the fitness stuff. Because generally speaking, the bigger the biceps are, the bigger and stronger the tan is, the more I'm kind of easing off on the business. And the lesser the pumps are, the less full the biceps are, the lesser the tan, probably the more hours I'm putting into the business. So that's that, guys, a little day in the life video of what it's like for me to be living in Dubai. And I wanted to make this video because looking on the outside in from social media, you don't really see what's going on behind the scenes. And through this video, you get a little bit of an in-depth look into what my life looks like. Because in all honesty, if you maybe look on socials, it just looks like I'm kind of frolicking around planet Earth, having a good time. But in reality, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and I really do go through these periods of grinding, working hard, and these consistent periods of growth, except for mostly the summertime. Like August, I ease off a little bit because the whole world is basically at that point easing off and kind of sitting on its ass. Business is that handshake, that collaboration, that relationship that you're building. And it doesn't matter how badly you want to go in that time, if others don't want to, then it's not happening. So I like to adjust a bit to how the world is adjusting at that time. And August is, especially in Europe, also in Bali and stuff like that, not so much Dubai, a beautiful place to be. So I take that time to recover, replenish a bit more, and then we get at it again and grow behind the scenes. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that honestly maybe you got a little bit motivated or inspired by this video as well, because that was a bit of the intention behind this, to maybe motivate you in some way or form, to maybe get you off your ass and pursue that dream career or that dream lifestyle that you've always aspired to have. Because I must honestly say that I certainly feel like I'm living mine as of now. At least if a 5-year younger version of me saw what I'd be up to today, he'll be pretty gassed. And I honestly can't complain. I'm living my dream life that I've always wanted to live when I was younger. So get up off your ass, get to it, get at it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.